Hello and welcome. How are you doing? I'm gonna check my filters real quick. Just in case. We should be fine. Hi, Hyper Hurricane. Woo! We're reading today. First, before I get into chatting, we are reading. Oh shoot, I forgot where I was on. I think we're on either page 236 or 234. We'll figure it out in a second. Of the Scum, of the airplane extras. Wah! Thank you. But yeah, how you doing? That's just getting that out of the way so we know where we are. There might be some noise. You might hear some noise from outside of my apartment, from outside my building. I don't know, somebody's been doing this horn thing that goes I don't know, people be doing weird shit. And it's just raining outside. It's a really lazy day today. Should we go into the other place to be lazy? We could go into the other place for we can go into the other room for the Amias. I feel like I want to finish this book in this with this overlay, and then next book or whatever, whatever, we can start using the other overlay, the one I use for my karaoke. I feel like we should do that. Hi Hydra. 5-stream streak, hell yeah. Horn playing on a Sunday, that's something. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let's finish in this setting and then switch up the exactly. You get it. You get it. You get me. It's all, we gotta keep it organized and neat, you know? I am gonna start out by saying I am really exhausted. A little, kind in a strictly bodily way. I don't know. It's like the rain and the atmospheric pressure and all that. It's just like I'm really sensitive to that stuff. So yeah, it's also hormonal. You know how it is. I love this vibe also a lot. Yeah, I like this vibe a lot. It's fun. I think this is good for Scum Villain, honestly. I don't dislike this one. I just think that the other room would be like good for reading. Good for a reading space, you know? And I also bought it, so I'm gonna use it. It cost me money, so I'm gonna use it. I was gonna draw today, but I'm beyond drained. Real. It's so bodily. It's so like everything feels so heavy today, but that's fine. That's why we're just reading. That's why we're just grabbing a book, sitting down with some tea. And, well, I'm reading. I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, we're just gonna have a cozy time, alright? Be nice to vibe about tea reading. Yeah, exactly. Alright, I have some, what is this, raspberry leaf tea? For those who know, you know. No, it's supposed to help with, like, period cramps and stuff. I talk about my period on here a lot. You're gonna learn about me. You're gonna learn about endometriosis. Did you know that endometriosis can't be cured? It can't be treated with chemo because it's a benign cancer. But okay, that's not the point. I've already said this in a fun fact. I'm not gonna say it all again. Never mind. Never mind. We're fine. Okay, I'm still sipping my tea, so just give me a second. It's still too hot, but I need tea. Nice. My throat has not been in the best shape. I don't know why I was coughing a lot last night. But I also took a COVID test, like an actual proper COVID test and flu test, like a couple days ago, and I haven't been out and about since then, so I don't know. I think it's just the weather changes. Anyway, where were we? Everyone's getting somewhat sick. Yeah, for sure. I mean, fluctuations in weather is like kind of just a guarantee to get everyone sick. So, you know, in some way or another. I don't think I have anything. I think I'm just feeling under the weather, you know? Alright. He just left him. Oh no, they just finished the fight against Unk. Yes. I was beaten to a pulp and you're not even helping me up. This is just inexcusable. Huh? Wait, did we even read this page? Should I start at the beginning of this page? Though Ling Guangjun was full of dissatisfied resentment, he was by this point likely no match for Mo Beijun. He could only hurriedly use ice to seal his wounds, transform into a stream of black wind, and then steal out of the ice fortress. I think we're literally just at the top of the page. Hi Yosh! Get some tea! We all need some tea. Yeah, I think we're starting on page 236. Straight at the top. Alright. This is the moment. He. Alright. Let's do this. I have no idea how long I'm gonna be here, how much I'm gonna read, because the next chapter is like a completely different chapter, and it's kind of long, so I don't know if I want to save that for... we'll see. We'll just see. Alright. Let's get into it. Shang Qinghua, lying with his face pressed to the ground, didn't see any movement for a long while, and no one came to help him up. Is he still mad? He mourned internally. No matter how you look at it, I was beaten to a pulp for you, and you're not even helping me up? This is just inexcusable. Then he heard a heavy slam. Sorry, it's just that, do you all get sleepy with the sound of, cars driving over wet streets? Is that just me, or is like that's what the fuck was that? Right? It's such a I love it so much. But I get really, really sleepy from it. It's so cozy. And that's all I'm hearing right now, so alright, anyway. Then he heard a heavy slam. Grimacing in pain and with incomparable difficulty, Shang Qinghua turned over. Mo Beijun had collapsed too. Two figures, fallen in different postures beside a raging circle of fire, lay quietly, collapsed like dead NPCs. Shang Qinghua finally realized that Mo Beijun most likely had, in fact, not finished absorbing his clan's martial aspect, nor had he suppressed Ling Guangjun's demonic energy. Moments ago, he really had been taken by a sudden impulse and fought with all his strength to scare Ling Guangjun away at the last moment. Now Mo Beijun had exhausted his final ounce of energy and had moreover been roasted to a crisp by the terrifying Black Sun immortal fire, so he had collapsed like a dead NPC. Though Mo Beijun was lying straight and stiff on the ground, unable to move even a finger, his eyes were still forcefully glaring at Shang Qinghua. Under that stare, Shang Qinghua was no longer able to continue lying there at ease. He could only open his mouth to say, "That is, my king, you, don't struggle. Just lie down and slowly absorb it. The combined power of the Lord, I can read. The combined power of lords accumulated over generations isn't the sort of thing you can swallow down in a single gulp." That gaze didn't subside in the least. Shang Qinghua's heart pounded like he was being showered with a rain of needles. He finally managed to catch his breath and sit up, already trembling like a Parkinson's patient. Oh my god. Sometimes this book is a little problematic. Now, Mo Beijun would finally have to listen to him. He took a deep breath. My king, in fact, in the first place, I didn't want to leave at this sort of time. I really didn't know that it just so happened to be the key moment when you were about to succeed your father's position. Why didn't you tell me about it earlier, when it was something so important? Mo Beijun used his expression to say, "Kneel down, cry, and admit you were wrong. And then I'll pardon you." Okay, sorry. I get confused when the emphasis is not, because all of that was slanted and then in italics, and then the emphasis is not in anyway. The corner of Shang Qinghua's mouth twitched. To tell the truth, you shouldn't have brought me, he continued. I can't do anything at all. I can barely serve as a punching bag for you to beat up from time to time. You saw me just then. I was thrashed this badly and I only bought you a bit of time. But you seriously injured your uncle and he probably wouldn't dare come back again. You're almost done digesting it, right? So I'll just leave first. Mo Beijun's expression had eased a bit, but upon hearing this last sentence, cold light beamed from his eyes. You're still leaving? You dare. Having suddenly been bellowed out and still hurting from head to toe, Shang Qinghua was overcome with rage. He slapped the ground and yelled, What don't I dare? As one would expect, this strike couldn't scare Mo Beijun, and it only made his own shoulder and arm explode with pain, while stars burst in his eyes. Either way, Mo Beijun couldn't move a limb, and Shang Qinghua grew bold in his fury, pointing at him. I'll tell you the truth then. I've endured you for too long, you pampered, spoiled young master, you vile-tempered, demonic second-gen. This was a monstrous degree of audacity. Mo Beijun's face was full of disbelief. But Shang Qinghua's many years of accumulated grievances continued to spew out in this moment with the power of an arcing rainbow. You saw that I had a good temperament, that I was easy to push around, and also that my cultivation was lacking, so I was fun and satisfying to torment, right? You thought I was really this. What are you looking at? You gonna argue with that? I'm your dad. Call me daddy. I was just indulging you. Go on and try this with someone else, huh? Bingo would beat you to death, and the original flavor, Shen Qingzhou, would shade you to death. No one likes getting beat up every day, and no one would actually be all cheery after getting beat up every day. I'm not actually a dog. Even with a dog, if you kicked it twice a day, given enough time, it'd learn not to bother with you anymore. Everyone calls Shang Qinghua daddy. Mo Beijun said, Do you want to die? Under the circumstances, the intimidation factor of these words had suffered a huge loss in value. I don't, said Shang Qinghua. And not only do I dare leave, I dare do other things. Would you believe it? This Peak Lord will, right here, right now, beat you back for every time you beat him before. You, Mo Beijun said angrily. You what? You dare again? I'll tell you what, right now, I really do dare. Come at me. With this, Shang Qinghua rolled up his sleeves, eagerly shaking a fist in front of Mo Beijun's ashen face. Cold blades shot from Mo Beijun's gaze, but Shang Qinghua wasn't frightened in the slightest. His fist swung in a strike straight toward Mo Beijun's head. On instinct, Mo Beijun averted his face only to feel the skin of his cheek tighten. It was a very unfamiliar feeling, a bit itchy, a little bit painful, but entirely not the expected strike. Two of Shang Qinghua's fingers had pinched his cheek on one side and forcefully pulled. How's that? Does that hurt? While pulling, he thought, this is not what I was fucking thinking of doing. Beat him. Yeah, beat him while he can't move. Tugging on his face and letting him off with just that, no matter how you look at it, you'll be getting the short end of the stick. But there was nothing to be done. Sure enough, Shang Qinghua still couldn't bring himself to beat that face. Cheek being pulled as it was, Mo Beijun's words were unclear, but he persisted to say, You're done. Shang Qinghua cackled. You have backbone. You can still threaten me in this state. Daddy admires you. I fucking love him. I fucking love him so much. Oh, yaoi maxing. We're so yaoi maxing right now. Oh my god. His other hand joined in, pinching the other side of Mo Beijun's face. Sometimes he pulled those cheeks in opposite directions, sometimes he pressed them together. Mo Beijun's formerly aloof and noble image was wrecked, utterly exterminated by his treacherous pair of hands. All through it, Shang Qinghua was repeating, "Does it hurt yet? Does it hurt?" Mo Beijun refused to yield his lofty air, but it was to no avail. Things like psychological tears could not be suppressed by lofty airs alone, and in the end his cheeks were pulled until tears emerged at the corner of his eyes. "It hurts! That's right!" Shang Qinghua released his claws. "When you were beating me all the time, it was at least 10 times as painful as that. How does it feel getting tugged on?" "Spoiled." "Oh, no, soon enough." Mo Beijun's face went white with fury at this contemptuous "spoiled," and his cheeks were covered in green and red fingerprints. It really was a slight shock to the eye and astonished the heart. What? Yes. It really was a sight to shock the eye and astonish the heart. When it came down to it, Shang Qinghua was, in truth, a coward. He had just committed a crime of passion and had his bit of fun, but after the fact, he began to fear being sent to the crematorium. Like cremation, right? Crematorium? Especially when Mo Beijun's face had recovered its normal shape. His expression was truly. Shang Qinghua's heart quailed at the mere sight of it. He hurriedly patted his hem, preparing to break into a run and leave. He had skidded a few large steps away at meteoric speed when Mo Beijun shouted at his back, "If you want to keep your legs, stay there and don't move." On reflex, Shang Qinghua obeyed the order. He didn't dare turn around. "My king, I really am leaving." "Shut up! Come back!" Shang Qinghua continued, unimpeded. "Even if you're angry, don't come looking for me. After I return, you absolutely won't be able to find me again, so don't spend energy on a useless effort. So, my king, bye then." Mo Beijun was nearly roaring. "If you have the guts to leave, then never let me see you again." Shang Qinghua turned a deaf ear. After a few steps, he added one more line. "I was very happy to meet you. Really, you're even cooler than I imagined." At this moment, he was in high spirits, radiant with delight, and wearing precisely the same expression he had worn in the split second he first set pen to paper to describe this character's first appearance. When he reflected on his true emotions and honest feelings toward the character under his pen, this really was embarrassing. Although, with parting near at hand, embarrassment was but a fleeting thing. And that's a scene break. And I'm not emotional, you're emotional. Oh, also thanks for the follow, Limity 10 minutes ago. Sorry, I missed it. I ain't got my headphones on. I'm not crying. I just really love him, and this is an emotional moment for everyone. For everyone. We are on page 241 now, after the scene break. Let's get into it. Everyone. Shang Qinghua just didn't understand. Where was his agreed upon parting near at hand? Why was it that it had been a whole month since the system released the return home function, and yet he was still idling his life away in the world of proud immortal Demon Wei? Ugh. Every time he poked open the system and faced the red and green yes and maybe next time, he consistently ended up spacing out, then clicked the button on the right and closed the interface. Next time, on top of next time, just a whole bushel of next times. Shang Qinghua blamed this on chronic procrastination. "Oh, that is evil. Thy name is procrastination." He didn't dare return to Sangchong Mountain for the time being. He didn't know if Mobejun was angry enough to go to Anding Peak and heat him off. But half of his savings were stashed in a cave in Anding Peak, and the other half was in Mobejun's official residence on the northern border. So this past month, though Shang Qinghua looked at ease, he had actually been living frugally, dining on the wind and lodging under the open skies. If not for that bit of spiritual energy he still had to depend on, there wouldn't have been much difference between him and a common vagrant. After wandering for nearly a month, he unexpectedly ran into a certain master-disciple pair while they were enjoying a leisurely, scenic tour around the world. Who could it be? I'm Rainy. I'm doing alright. I'm just a bit too cozy, if you know what I mean. I'm sleepy. I hope you're doing good too. After wandering for nearly a month, after realizing who they were, Shang Qinghua couldn't resist rubbing his eyes. After half a minute, he finally confirmed that the young man in plain cotton clothes, still dignified of comportment, while carrying a fishing rod and hefting a basket of fish, was Luo Binghe. And after another half a minute, he confirmed that the other, who persisted in putting on his poser act of refined immortal airs to the very end, even while carrying boxes of food to deliver his own meal, was immortal Master Shen, Peak Lord Shen Qingqiu. You're here doing this cheerful, romantic cottagecore roleplay while you just left Mobejun alone in the demon realm and made me force myself to step in? How tragic my fate. I'm off, man. Maybe you just don't want to leave your husband. Ever consider that? But you ever consider not wanting to leave your husband? You think? Grumbling to himself was one thing, but how should he put it? Seeing these two still made him very happy. Oh. Especially because he hadn't eaten a full meal for days. Oh, okay. Don't complain about an immortal cultivator like him still caring about things like eating a full meal. The comment section had roasted him enough. He wasn't from Kuqing Peak. He didn't play around with Inedia. I don't know what that is. As their cottagecore life had been disturbed by someone for no good reason, Luo Binghe naturally had no good looks to bestow upon Shang Qinghua. On Shen Qingqiu's behalf, he wouldn't show it on his face, but when, after exchanging a few greetings, Shen Qingqiu told him to go sit down inside, Binghe's expression still darkened. These two had, quite sentimentally, built a small bamboo house in a location between jade waters and green mountains. The longer Shang Qinghua sat, the more he felt that these two really were quite well off. As he lounged on a rattan chair, he said, "The house isn't bad." Shen Qingqiu waved his fan. "Why don't you consider who built it? Could it be bad?" Yeah, no, that's right. Sorry. Sometimes the words in this book are very confusing. Why don't you consider who built it? Could it be bad? Shang Qinghua thickened his face, shameless. "Your days truly have been much more comfortable than mine. Would it be possible to let me catch a whiff of Cucumber Bro's fortune and enjoy a touch of this carefree life for a while?" "It's most unfortunate, but you've come at a bad time. We were just about to eat." "You're too kind. Arriving early can't beat arriving on time. I see I came at just the right one. I'll see how your food is." With that, he rose and walked to the door of what he suspected was the kitchen, where he lifted the curtain. Luo Binghe, wearing a light black robe, his sleeves rolled high and expression severe, was currently, silently, kneading dough. He was all grim concentration, with 2 patches of white on his face and a bit of flour on his eyelashes. Like what he was pinching and pulling in his hands wasn't a ball of dough, but a scroll containing his grand ambitions to unite all the realms. No. Shang Qinghua felt like his guts were splitting open in dismay. the protagonist he had created, the Binga who emanated pure tyranny as he conquered the multitudes of stallion male protagonists. He was kneading dough, making noodles, ad infinitum. Infinitum. I know words. This really was an indescribable fright. You don't know your son very well. Shang Qinghua silently retreated in defeat. He sat at the table and reached out to find a cup of tea to drink and drown that fright, but it was fished back by Shen Qingzhou. Mine. Shang Qinghua's heart was still palpitating. Do you have a second cup in the house? What's wrong with letting me use it? Shang Qinghua pointed at the kitchen. You well know that there isn't a second cup, so it's also his. Shang Qinghua was silent. You dare use it? If you would, I'll give it to you. Shang Qinghua's hands changed from pulling to pushing. Your Honor can have it all to himself. Unfortunately, I cannot partake. Binga continued to cook while the two chatted about this and that. After listening to Shang Qinghua relay the tale about the emergency at the Mobei clan ice fortress, Shen Qingzhou expressed his doubts. Really? Just like that? What reason would I have to trick you about this sort of thing? Shang Qinghua asked. And what do you mean just like that? My dignity was at stake. Of course I couldn't stay any longer. That's not wrong per se, Shen Qingzhou thought, then said. But you never seemed like but you never seemed like that sort of person. What sort of person? The kind who would care all that much about dignity. Shen Qingzhou said amiably. With the strength of airplane shooting towards the sky's resolve, the thickness of his face, and the tenacity of his vitality, he really hadn't seemed the sort to run after a single beating from Mobei Jun. After all, he had endured all those years before. How could he have suddenly become weak and sensitive and been overcome with emotion? Cucumber, bro. No, wait, this is Shang Qinghua. Cucumber, bro, Shang Qinghua said, embarrassed. Sure, I never hesitated to sell out my principles to get upvotes and tips, and I only incidentally became Unding Peak Lord. But if you judge me for all that, you'd be the one in the wrong. Aren't those two things you've just cited quite compatible with the conduct I'm judging you for? Be a bit nicer to me, a bit gentler, okay? Cucumber bro, tell me, when would it be best for me to return to the modern world? You really want to return to the modern world? Shen Qingzhou asked. So shooting your airplane too often really is bad for your eyesight. You can't even see the crux of your own problems anymore. Wake up. You're just waiting for him to apologize and scoop you back up and continue to lightly beat you 3 times a day. Upvotes and tips. This guy. Shut up. Sorry, I'm stretching. Before they had finished chatting, the meal was served. Lo Binghe carried over 2 bowls of noodles, white noodles and red broth, fresh and oily chopped green onions, and topped off with a pile of tender slices of meat. The presentation was unspeakably exquisite, but Shang Qinghua wouldn't get grabby. Without even needing Binga to open his mouth and say it, Shang Qinghua required only a seemingly nonchalant glance to understand that there was no portion for him. Shen Qingzhou sighed. See, I told you it was a bad time. After all, this was the food Binga had made with his own hands. Not just anyone had the right to eat. Shang Qinghua didn't have anything to say, and he shrank to the corner of the table to pitifully watch the pair across from him split their chopsticks. Later, when Shen Qingzhou finally couldn't stand to watch anymore, he put a piece of meat in Lo Binghe's bowl while holding back his smile, and finally lent him some mercy. Forget it. No more teasing. Your Shishu has been pitiful enough recently. Don't bully him anymore. Lo Binghe put that piece of meat in his mouth and said, without lifting his head. There was more in the pot. Shang Qinghua giddily went to the pot, shovel in hand. As he held the noodles, he slurped until his eyes were brimming with hot tears. For the first time, he had the deep-seated feeling that the most reliable thing in this world was indeed the friendship of Peerless Cucumber, his comrade from the same hometown. After he had mooched a meal of incomparably delicious noodles, Shang Qinghua was already pleased beyond his expectations, and it entirely did not occur to him to ask for lodging. What a joke. He did not want to eavesdrop through Binga's wall. The quality of the sleep he'd get was one thing, but whether Binga would cut off his ears and boil them with tomorrow's noodles was entirely another. Bully him with the... Yeah, go ahead. You won't. You won't. Oh, but look at the sort of godly days Shen Qingzhou's living. Then look at the sort I am. Then again, constantly comparing yourself to others will drive you to an early grave. Really, though, this is preposterous. Clearly, I'm the author. I'm the world's divine creator deity. Can't you all be a bit better to me? Love your authors. Protecting authors is everyone's responsibility. Shang Qinghua, savoring the lingering taste of the only bowl of noodles his son had ever made him while using a piece of grass to pick his teeth, walked down the small path between the mountains. He walked and walked until his foot suddenly slid out from beneath him. There was a ravine right next to the path, and Shang Qinghua had tossed his pitiful little sword, who knew where long ago. If he fell down there, he wasn't flying back up. He burst out in a string of curses at himself. How can you slip when you're just walking on the road? You're not some female manga protagonist who comes with the supreme talent of tripping on flat ground. But when he sat down to look, he found neither an oblivious banana peel nor a small tree root, only a tiny puddle. However, that puddle was frozen over. The short weeds all around it were also covered with a faint layer of frost. Shang Qinghua frantically rolled and crawled over to the closest rock face, his back against it, as he sought out a bit of security. He had thought that spending too much time dilly-dallying and tempting death by not returning until Mo-Wei-Jun came knocking was already the worst-case scenario. Then a certain person walked out from behind the craggy rocks and drooping vines, and Shang Qinghua finally discovered that things could be even worse. Well, look here. Who's this? Ling Guangjun said. Shang Qinghua laughed dryly. Right, who is this? Ling Guangjun patted the top of his head. Mo-Wei-Jun nearly overturned the whole northern border looking for you. You surely know how to hide, huh? My lord is joking. Since when was I hiding? Right. I was also wondering. Where is there to hide from? What's there to hide from? You performed such a meritorious. You performed. When does that song end? Anyway, you performed such a meritorious service at the ice fortress. Last we met, but Mo-Wei didn't even have the chance to reward you. I can't figure out why. I can't figure it out. Why did you run to this nothing place in the middle of nowhere? Oh, that was nothing, Shang Qinghua repeated, waving his hands. That was nothing to do with me. That was all Mo-Wei-Jun relying on his own skill. Shang Qinghua was denying his role in fear that Ling Guangjun would assign him the greatest responsibility for his defeat at the ice fortress. But unexpectedly, upon hearing this, Ling Guangjun's face suddenly changed, and his tone turned harsh. Do you mean to say that without you, a lowly, shameless, treacherous Sangchong mountain dog, to jump out and wreck all my good work halfway through, that damned youngster could have defeated me all by himself? Yes is wrong. No is also wrong. Shang Qinghua bemoaned this injustice to the skies. How could he? Mo Beijun defeated you, my lord, only because he relied on a sneak attack. Are you mocking me? Shang Chenghua couldn't immediately respond. When he thought about it, oh right, the one who had performed the first sneak attack had clearly been Ling Guangjun himself. The wind had blown his piss right back at him. No matter what he said, it was wrong. After clinging to people's thighs after clinging to people's thighs with a subservient smile for decades, Shang Chenghua had at last encountered a character too difficult to flatter. He shut his mouth, a mournful look on his face. Ling Guangjun sneered. That little Mobe certainly never could have imagined I would just casually run into the person he expended all his energy on finding to no avail. So I must use you well. My lord, if you want to catch me and use me to threaten Mo Beijun, it's completely useless, Shang Chenghua said hurriedly. I'll tell you the truth about why I ran away. In fact, at the fortress, while he couldn't move, I couldn't resist beating him up. And you know that damn temper of his. With that kind of opportunity, it would be hard not to hit him, right? But after, there was nothing I could do. I was afraid he would retaliate, so I just ran. He's probably only looking for me because he wants to beat me in return. I don't have a mote of value in his eyes. At most, I'm a convenient attendant and punching bag. Punching bag. Ling Guangjun paused and said impatiently, Why are you telling me all this? Do I look like the type of demon who'd do such a shameless thing? It's hard to say, You weren't exactly upstanding when you sneak attacked Mo Beijun, Shang Chenghua said sincerely. You don't. Then do I look like the type of demon to be that patient? That I don't know. Then, my lord, how do you want to use me? How will I use you? Ling Guangjun laughed. By killing you to vent my anger. Was that so very hard to understand? Shang Chenghua froze. That's not necessary. You'd just be wasting your resources. My lord, you can probably use me to threaten Mo Beijun or whatever. What a pity it would be to simply kill me. I don't have a mote of value in his eyes. At most, I'm a convenient attendant and punching bag. Who said that again? Humans have a saying, modesty is a virtue. Before he had finished the word virtue, Shang Chenghua threw out his hands, yelling, Behold my black sun immortal fire! Numerous balls of rolling red flame shot through the air. Frightened, Ling Guangjun darted aside to dodge. However, the flames extinguished, and the second they hit the ground, it clearly wasn't black sun immortal fire, which was impervious to wind or water. That bastard Shang Chenghua was just tricking him. Ling Guangjun was enraged now, new resentment fanning old hate. Casually brushing his hand over a dangling drop of dew on the Casually brushing his hand over a dangling drop of dew on a drooping leaf, he aimed right at Shang Chenghua and attacked. Shang Chenghua only felt a chill in his calf before his leg had been shot through by an ice bullet solidified by demonic energy. He couldn't have run even if he wanted, and he crashed to the ground with a thud. Ling Guangjun lightly pushed one foot into the kneecap of Shang Qinghua's other leg and pressed down. You're just like a cockroach, too good at running. I'll destroy your legs first. We'll see how you run then. Shang Qinghua didn't have any of the integrity required to remain unyielding in the face of destruction, and his soul nearly fled with fright. My king! Speak of the king, and he shall appear. An ink-blue silhouette fluttered into view like a specter. Two balls of black chi collided with a crack. Ling Guangjun clutched one of his legs, now broken at the knee. Crazed with anger, You brat, you dare? You brat, do you have to show up so promptly? Can't you just wait a bit longer? Can't you wait to arrive until I've already brought down my heel? With a kick, Mo Beijun broke his other knee, then said coldly, I can't. Ling Guangjun was quite strong-willed, Both his knees had been pulverized into powder, but he didn't scream. Instead, he cursed his nephew out all the more hysterically. You really are the seed of your frozen-faced father. You could have been like anyone, but you had to be like him. Turtle and tortoise born in the same nest. He steals, and so do you. He died early, so why can't you die early too? Fuck. Mobei-jun said, Keep cursing, and I'll send you to keep... I'll keep cursing, and I'll send you on to keep him company. Shang Qinghua stared, tongue-tied. Though he knew Ling Guangjun had always nursed a deep resentment toward his older brother, he'd never thought it would be deep enough to make him wholly lose his poise and shout abuses in the street. Amidst Ling Guangjun's crazed curses, Mobei-jun casually flipped his hand and tossed him into the ravine. Falling down a ravine like that might kill a human, but a demon certainly wouldn't die. Shang Qinghua didn't remind him to pull the grass up by its roots. This was Mobei-jun's own uncle, and his father had doubtless told him that no matter what Ling Guangjun did, to be a bit indulgent with him. In truth, Shang Qinghua didn't want to remind Mobei-jun of anything at all. If he could let him forget Shang Qinghua's existence entirely, that would be even better. Mobei-jun withdrew his gaze from the bottom of the ravine. Stop right there. Shang Qinghua dragged a perforated calf. Had been about to furtively slip away. I'm gonna... Hang on. God. I can read today. Shang Qinghua, dragging a perforated calf, had been about to furtively slip away. He hadn't expected to be exposed until that shout, and he froze in place. Even a pervert caught red-handed wouldn't have had as guilty a conscience. He listened to the sound of Mobei-jun's footsteps treading across frost and cracking ice as he walked over, and he hurriedly covered his own face. Mobei-jun seemed to be in quite the temper today. He wasn't the least bit aloof. What are you doing? Didn't you say never let me see you again? Shang Qinghua asked awkwardly. There's no way for you to not see me now, so I'll just cover my face. Mobei-jun lifted his hand, and Shang Qinghua covered his head out of habit. Silence. Mobei-jun separated his two arms and straightened them. At the end of his patience, if you let me see you do this sort of thing again, you won't be keeping your hands. There was just a hint of teeth-gnashing fury in his tone. Shang Qinghua reflexively wanted to cover his head again, but he managed to choke it down for the sake of this pair of hands, which had toiled so heroically as they typed on his keyboard. Struggling to hold it all in, he began to shake and shake. He shook until Mobei-jun said, Am I that frightening? Actually, not really, said Shang Qinghua. It's just that I always feel like you're going to knock me around a bit, my king. Before, the hitting or kicking, it was whatever, but now that you've officially succeeded to the throne, your cultivation cannot be compared to what it once was. You could make raging waves beat the shore or send stones flying to pierce the clouds with a single strike. I'm afraid I couldn't endure even a few of your hits. Shut up, said Mobei-jun. Follow me. Come. Shang Qinghua threw caution to the wind and firmly threw himself on the stone wall like a lizard. I won't come. No, I want to leave. I want to return to my old home. If I let you hit me back, then will you not go? Mobei-jun asked. Especially if I stay to let you beat me up 3 times a day, I might as well... What? Hit him back? Let me hit him back? Mobei-jun is willing to let me hit him back? In order to stop me from leaving, Mobei-jun is willing to let me hit him back? The staircase of words cycled through Shang Qinghua's thoroughly shocked brain again and again. Mobei-jun lifted his chin, stiff and unmoving, emitting a bold aura of, "Hit me however you like, I won't retaliate." Nevertheless, he kept sneakily glancing at Shang Qinghua out of the corner of his eye. Can I just say, it's already canon, we already are aware that in demon culture, fighting and play fighting, you know, that's a form of flirting. So he'll stop hitting Shang Qinghua to do his form of flirting, to do the human form of flirting, and then he's also like, "Hey, human, hit me to flirt with me." Maybe. Just saying. Mo Wei-jun lifted his chin, stiff and unmoving, and I already read that. When Mo Wei-jun didn't see him move even after a while, he seemed to suddenly grow happy. Although when he was happy, the only sign was that the tips of his eyebrows raised a touch higher. "You're not going to do it?" he asked. "Time's up. Fine. I won't let you hit me. Let's go." "Wait a minute, I didn't say I wouldn't do it," thought Shang Qinghua. There was a time limit?" Mo Wei-jun, the tiny lift of his eyebrow, hiding that extremely covert hint of pleasure, dragged Shang Qinghua away and broke into a run. Shang Qinghua thereupon began to wail. "Ow, fuck, that hurts! That hurts! My king, you, take a look at me! Look at me! Mo Wei-jun indeed looked at him, then looked at his bloody leg. After a moment of silence, he tried to carry Shang Qinghua on his shoulder. Shang Qinghua howled like he was dying. My king, spare me! My king, spare me! If you carry me like this the whole way, this leg of mine really will be ruined." "Then what should I do?" Mo Wei-jun asked. "What about find me a doctor first?" Shang Qinghua suggested, eyes filled with tears. With a click of his tongue, Mo Wei-jun turned and left. A gust of cold wind blew by the abandoned Shang Qinghua, dumbstruck like a wooden chicken. Had Mo Wei-jun decided he was too much trouble? After some time, Mo Wei-jun returned, and he was dragging a handcart stolen from who knew where. The wooden chicken finally became a lively chicken. The oh-so-mighty second-in-command of the demon race, noble and aloof chief of the icy Mobei clan, lowered his dignified self to drag a broken-down handcart that completely clashed with his image. The scene was amazing. With a chuckle, Shang Qinghua broke down again. At the sight of the blue veins faintly popping on Mo Wei-jun's forehead, he hurriedly knitted his brows and started crying out in pain. After he called to him a few times, Mo Wei-jun scooped him up and settled him on the top of the cart. There's a beautiful illustration of this by, I think, who was it? I'm pretty sure it was Junie. Hang on. It's just a beautiful illustration, and I think we should all see it. I'll like retweet it after this stream, but yes. Hang on. One second. Actually, I'll just retweet it right now. So you can see it. It's so perfect. I love it so much. Oh my god, it's so perfect. Anyway, yeah. Moving on. What were we doing? At the sight of the blue veins faintly popping on Mo Wei-jun's forehead, he hurriedly knitted his brows and started crying out in pain. After he called to him a few times, Mo Wei-jun scooped him up and settled him on the top of the cart. Though he was sitting on a crooked and broken-down handcart stolen off the old horse in some farming family's courtyard, a cart that was probably only used to carry things like fodder, firewood, and slop buckets, Shang Qinghua still puffed up in self-satisfaction as he emanated a majestic aura. It's exactly that. It's so good. Oh my god. Those not in the know might even have thought he was a scholar who, after 10 years of strenuous study, had achieved the status of Zhuangyuan, first in the imperial examinations, and been bequeathed a marriage match from the emperor himself, and that he was now in the procession of drums and gongs to receive his bride. He's gonna receive his bride, all right. This really was the karmatic cycle. The first time he had seen Mo Beijun, he had used a handcart just like this to ferry the unconscious demon to a room to rent. For proof, a poem. 30 years the river flows east, 30 years the river flows west. Back and forth the handcart goes. Next year it's my turn. Haha! Footnote. The first two lines are from an idiom first recorded in the Scholars, a Qing dynasty satirical novel by Wu Jingzi, yes, which describes the inconsistency of fate. The latter two lines are Shang Qinghua's own invention. Who could have guessed it? Filled with the breezy, immortal air, Shang Qinghua declared, "I want to eat noodles." That bowl of noodles from Binga really had been delicious, but it hadn't been enough. Binga hadn't saved more than a couple of strands for him, so it hadn't satisfied. Said Mo Beijun. Pulled noodles, said Shang Qinghua. Okay. Having won an inch, Shang Qinghua asked for a mile. You make them. The handcart abruptly halted, and Mo Beijun stopped in place. A faint cold of unknown origin drifted over. Shang Qinghua was instantly terrified, and he contorted his face into a subservient expression. I'll make them, of course. I'll make them. I was just joking. Alas, fantasy was so abundant, but reality was so wanting. After a while, the handcart wheel slowly began to turn again. Mo Beijun, in front, said without turning back, I'll make them. Silence. What had he said? He said he'd make them? Who was this? Mo Beijun. And he was going to do what? Make pulled noodles? This Mo Beijun, who was willing to let Shang Qinghua hit back and willing to make him noodles, had the stars aligned? He was striking it rich today. Shang Qinghua made a decision. He was going to take up his old profession again. That pen name, airplane shooting toward the sky, was going to rush boldly back into the fray. More noodles. But what should he write? Shang Qinghua slapped his thigh as he... what the fuck? Okay. So stupid. They are gonna make puppies together. Whoa, crazy. Shang Qinghua always ready to update the classics for his unique purposes. What made you finally figuring out? I know it's precious. I love them. But what should he write? Shang Qinghua slapped his thigh. As he'd heard it, Sleeping Willow Flowers 81% discounted Regret of Chunshan was selling like hotcakes. Okay. Then he'd just go with the flow and write. Though he himself was upright without compare, there were readers, where there were readers, there was a market. And if there was a market, he dared to write. Airplane shooting towards the sky was the best at going with the flow. He'd just write whatever was popular. You couldn't go wrong with that. He doesn't learn. The first step would be to figure out a good title that would be well received by the masses, such as Secret Annals of Qingjing Peak, or My Disciple Can't Be This Cute, or How Lovely, My Shizun, or something like that. He'd have to mull it over. His prose wasn't as good as Sleeping Willow Flowers, but that was all right. Airplane Shooting Towards the Sky had never sold because of his writing style. He sold because of porn. On top of that, Airplane Shooting Towards the Sky didn't like how Sleeping Willowflower, the Three Holy Mothers, and the rest kept such a tight focus. They wrote all kinds of stories, but in the end, they were only ever about Shenting-cho and Lo Binka. Their scope was way too narrow. In fact, as he saw it, it was entirely possible to be more daring and unbridled. For example, if you were calling it Regret of Chunshan, why limit yourself to one couple? With a beauty like Lu Chinga on hand, wasn't it just a pity not to write him? Yue Qingyuan was also a beautiful fellow of noble bearing, accomplished in business and perfect spouse material. As for Mushiri and Wei Shisheng, both were basically idols in the eyes of this world. If you wrote a free-for-all sex scene and threw them into an orgy, you wouldn't have to worry that no one would read it. Hey, I'd read it. Still a hack airplane bro, or maybe he just likes being eviscerated by his cucumber. Yeah, you know what? I think he might have somewhat of a degradation/humiliation kink. Just a little. If he's lasted this long, come on. In short, as long as he was sufficiently explicit, depraved, and shameless, sooner or later he'd once again become a hegemon of this land's literati. He wouldn't even need to sell homemade soap to become a prosperous and dazzling entrepreneur. Airplane Shooting Towards the Sky propped up his legs, the handcart creaking and swaying along on the bumpy mountain road. The evening sun descended in the west, and Mobe pulled him along, going in who knew what direction. This story was riddled with landmines, a whole chaotic mess with grade school level writing, and maybe the more serious readers would throw it down with a curse of, "What dog shit is this?" But Great Master Airplane Shooting Towards the Sky was used to making excuses for his own fraudulent behavior. He could throw out 1,000 "it's just" to smooth things over. For example, it's just reading a novel. It's like living your life. Just have a good time. Why take it so seriously? It's just a silly novel the author wrote for fun. Don't set your expectations too high, everyone, and please bear with me. It's just a brainless, satisfying read. Wake up. What did you expect to read? It was just that he really, very much liked the story he'd written. Don't make me cry, Airplane Bro! I really like the story you've written too! I know that's not grammatically correct, shut up. That's the end of the chapter. That's the end of the chapter, and I'll be honest, I don't think I have it in me to read the next chapter, and as starting soon right now, but oh my god, I love that last bit so much. I love it so much. It's my favorite story too. Thanks, Airplane Bro. But also, did he write it? Kind of. Did he write it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he actually wrote it, if it was like his, you know what I mean? But, you don't know what I mean if you haven't read or haven't been spoiled about the extras. But, ass, buttocks, I didn't have anything to say after that, I'll be honest. I'll be so honest, I don't know what I was gonna say about that. I'm just melting in my chair for a bit. Oh god, I love it. I love it. Cheers. Oh, why would you do that? Ugh. Let's put this down. RR incoming. Close your ears. That was really bad and doesn't make any sense, but whatever. I'm gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do. I love this book so much, and I love Shang Qinghua, and I love Mo Beijun and Shang Qinghua, and I think there's so much potential in them, and I want more extras of them, even though that is the longest extra of this book. I want more. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about it. That's really it. Wow. Okay, guys, I'm done. I'm done today. I'm gonna go lie down, and let the sleepiness hit me fully. All right, I'm gonna do that. I hope we had a good time for an hour. I guess it was short, but we did it. We finished the extras, not the extras, the Moshang extras. And yeah, do I have my compressor on? I don't think I have my compressor on. Properties, nope, not that. Filters. Oh, I do. What the hell? Thanks for reading. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for joining me. There were no illustrations in this one except the one I reposted, but you know, that wasn't like, you know, that wasn't in the book. But it's a good one, and you should check it out. Follow me on Twitter, I guess. I don't know. You don't have to. I actually don't post there very much. But honestly, if you want to keep updated with things, the Discord is the best place to be updated. But yeah, if you can't tell, I'm clearly very eepy. And they're after me. I gotta go, everyone. I gotta go. We gotta go. Scatter. Ah! At least let me finish my tea. Wow, that's loud. Oh, woo, 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 woo. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna head out. We're not gonna raid anyone today. Sorry, I keep getting out of the frame. We're not gonna raid anyone today. We're just gonna skedaddle. I will get my schedule out later today, I think. Probably. Yeah, oh my god, guys, there's a Love and Deep Space update, so I'll be doing that later in the week. Shut up! Love and Deep Space main story update, yay! Toxic, it's not yaoi. It's yaoi when I'm there. Guys! That was a lot. That was quite a lot. Taking a week off. I'm taking a week off of the Blue Twitch, kind of. I'm not even taking. I'm just taking Friday off. But yeah, there's also another collab on that site, happening this week. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun week. It's actually, it might be a bit too much for me, but it's okay. We'll see how things go. All right, thanks for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay cozy and safe, and also Happy New Year, I suppose. And the New Year. Okay, we're gonna go. Bye.